guys, Brian Hilliard here, author of the best-selling book, Networking Like a Pro, and I am fired up because, as we head into the future, there are going to be some changes. Obviously, there's going to be some things that are changing. There's going to be a shifting in the environment. And while I don't proclaim to have a crystal ball or anything like that, I know for sure that there's going to be one thing that's going to change and one thing that's going to stay the same. In terms of staying the same, what we're going to see is that as a business person, relationships are absolutely vital. One of the things I always talk about is the idea that relationships are the currency of today's successful entrepreneur. That isn't going anywhere. But what is going to change as we head into the future, certainly in my opinion, is how we go about developing those relationships, how we go about meeting new people and getting that. Because, in a post-COVID world, we're going to have some things where people aren't going to be able to, at least in the foreseeable future, not going to be able to congregate as much as they would like, not be able to physically congregate as much as they'd like and physically go out and do some of these different things. And the question then becomes, as a business person, what can we do to kind of move forward when we still need these relationships, but we're obviously facing it in a new way of doing things? And one of the things that I talk about this concept of becoming a trusted authority. Okay. And what I mean by that is somebody who is obviously a knowledgeable person in their field. There's somebody that obviously knows their stuff, but there's somebody that you would trust. Somebody who comes across as authentic, someone who comes across as genuine. Because the other thing that is going to be a little bit different is we have to be able to level up our own game to increase and not increase, but to battle, for lack of a better term, the skepticism that's going to come from meeting people online, from developing a reputation online, from becoming this trusted authority. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to break it down into 3 specific steps that we can do, that you can do in order to become this trusted authority. It's things that I've personally done. I've actually been a coach since 2001. I have been doing this for quite a long time, written 7 books, as you know. Networking Like a Pro is one of them. And I am all about being able to show people what they need to be able to do to not only expand their reach and to be able to obviously become a trusted authority, but to turn that into bottom line revenue, and being able to do so in a way that doesn't make you feel pushy, salesy, or otherwise over the top. All right, so that's what we're going to talk about here today. Those 3 things that you can do to become a trusted authority. I jotted some notes down. Let's get into number 1. Step 1 is that you absolutely want to create what I call symptomatic content. You're like, symptomatic content, what is that? Okay, well, a lot of times I'll see people, they create content that talks about the benefits. And you're like, well, Brian, I thought I was supposed to be, I thought I've learned in different things, like the benefits is the good thing. Benefits absolutely are a good thing. But here's the problem. When you're putting out content and you're trying to, bring people in and get their interest, they're not thinking in terms of benefits. They're thinking in terms of problems. So like if I have, let's just say I have, sore throat and I'm coughing, right? Or whatever. Those are things that as a person I'm thinking about. Those are my symptoms. Now, if a doctor posted something that just said, hey, you can feel great. Hey, you can feel great. Here are the benefits of feeling great. Hey, you can feel great. Maybe I look that up. Maybe I don't. But if that same doctor put out something that says, listen, if you have these symptoms, if you're coughing, if you're, not able to sleep well at night, if you're sneezing, you might want to think about doing this, this, and this, including coming in and maybe talking to me. That's going to catch my eye. That's going to catch my attention. That's going to be something where I'm going to move into action. I call that symptomatic content. And you want to take a look at your business. What is it that you are doing, obviously? And then from there, what is it that are some of the problems that you're helping people solve? Okay. And then from there, how does your constituency, how do they view those problems? In other words, what are the symptoms that those folks are readily available and readily understand? And then you want to produce content in the context of addressing those symptoms. Step 1, create symptomatic content. All right. Step 2 is something that is near and dear to my heart. It's a conversation about streamlining and simplifying your message. Okay, streamlining and simplifying your message. And actually, I kind of think of it the other way around because you want to start with the simplification first. All right, when you're talking about simplifying, what you're doing is you're having a conversation around taking whatever it is that you do and then making it in a way that is simple and easy for people to understand. I actually, when I work with clients on this, I call this a clear, consistent marketing message. All right, and it's very simple. It says, all right, what is it that you're doing, like for me, I'm talking to people, helping them expand their reach, become a trusted authority, and obviously get more clients in a way without being pushy, salesy, or otherwise over the top. Okay, that's pretty straightforward. Like, you know what it is I do, you understand where it's coming from. I work with people in terms of getting paid speaking engagements as well, because that's part of that, right? But when you look at it, you're able to be like, okay, that makes sense. Versus if I'm just like, well, I do some coaching, I've been doing it for a while, maybe buy my book, right? It's like, but that's where a lot of people do. When you're talking about, creators and business folks and just people who are trying to become a trusted authority, they get a little bit vague, okay? It's too general and it becomes vague. So you want to simplify it. Here's what I recommend. First of all, if you can, come up with an actual sentence or two that makes sense. If that's, whatever, that's no problem. Then what you also can do is think about 3 words that can at least kind of exemplify what it is you're trying to say to folks, and have those 3 words be the basis of your content pieces going forward. So if my 3 words are expand your reach, become a trusted authority, and get more clients, right? And those are obviously more than words, those are terms. Then I'm writing and producing content on expanding my reach beyond friends and family. What did I say? Becoming a trusted authority, which is this idea of obviously like a thought leader and things like that, and getting more clients without being pushy or salesy. So that's where my content would be. Simplify and then streamline. Okay, streamlining is where you're having a conversation around how am I going to make this easy for people to understand. A different way of saying streamlining is being able to make it where it makes sense for why the person should want to even work with you or talk with you or engage you in the first place. You want to streamline the message to the point where, this is what I say, people who are reading you or listening or watching, like I've got some podcasts. If you don't, that's fine. But if you do, you can do this for that too. Streamlining your message is a way where people are like, okay, I've heard what this guy said. I understand where he's coming from. I see how this can work for me. And now here's what I want to do. Maybe I want to register for one of his classes or jump on a webinar or join his Facebook group. Oh, I don't know what happened right there. But being able to do some of those different things, okay, so that you can have a streamlined message and it's something that makes sense for everybody, okay? So step 2 is you want to be able to simplify and streamline your message. All right, last but not least, we're talking about becoming a trusted authority. You want to get organized and automate. All right, this is so important. Get organized and automate. What that means is the organized is what I call a content calendar, okay? And I was actually trying to figure out if I had one. Let me feel right. Yes, I do. I thought so. I just couldn't see if I had it. Okay, so you're going to want to do like a little content calendar here. This I got over on Amazon. It was real easy. It was, I think like $5 or $7 or something like that. Wasn't a big deal. And it was something where I just write down all of my content. I mean, bam, 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 bam. Not a big deal. It works out great. And what happens is this allows me, like I have a number of different things. I do stuff on LinkedIn. I'll do stuff on Facebook. I have a Facebook group. I already told you about my podcast. I periodically hold Facebook Lives for people who are in my Facebook group. Okay, so there's different things that I'm kind of doing that allows people to be successful, right? So what happens is I have a content calendar. I have something where I can see, all right, this is clear, this is concise, this is something I understand, this makes sense, right? All of this is good stuff that you want to be able to kind of talk to people about and publish. It keeps you organized. Okay, because one of the biggest things, I was going to make one other point here first. One of the things that I see a lot of people do is we have these great ideas and we have all of these things going on, but it's like, there's not this idea of what it is that, so I know I want to write something. I know I want to be a trusted authority. I know that that's going to be important going out into, going forward, but I don't know what to write. I'm not really sure, or I have some ideas. I don't have it organized. You want to write it down, put it down on some, I actually wind up putting them on like some slips of paper. I put those slips of paper in a binder, like a little manila folder, and then the manila folder comes out. I try to do it once every 4 to 6 weeks, and off I go, okay? So that's a really, really great way to be able to get organized. Now, in terms of automating, fine. What I recommend is a company called SmarterQ. They are a terrific company. What they do is they will publish a lot of the work stuff, like how you're putting like content and things like that out there. They will publish that in a way that is automated. Brian, what do you mean by that? Okay, well, what happens is you have first of all, let's think of it this way. You have a calendar, okay, during the course of the week. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Fine. Then what happens is you have slots. So you'll say, all right, I want to do Monday at 9, Tuesday at 10, Thursday at noon. These are the different slots. And it's like, okay. Then you're like, well, what content goes out during those slots, right? That's the next question. All right, well, then what you do is you put those content in there. Like for me, I want to say I have 9 or 10 slots with like about 13 to 14 pieces of content. So I have 9 or 10 slots. I do 6 days, mostly during the week, Monday through Friday. Then I do a couple on Saturday. So bang, 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 bang. All right. And then what I'll do is I have a baker's dozen of content. Boom, 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 boom. Now, the reason why I like SmarterQ is when my piece comes up, when my time slot comes up, my content goes out, right? But with other companies, what happens is when it's done, it's done. With the Q, that's not the case, okay? When you go, the first one, when it's done, it goes back to the bottom. Second one, it's done, goes back to the bottom. I like to think of it as kind of like a conveyor belt that goes around and allows people to be able to, me, to be able to recycle that content. So what happens is I usually keep the content cycling 5 or 6 weeks, generally speaking, sometimes 8. I don't go more than 8. So let's just say 6 to 8 weeks. 6 to 8 weeks. I will cycle that content, have it go through. It is awesome. And then I put some new stuff in there because I'm always producing new content with my podcasts and things like that. All right. My point is that when you are going out and doing some of this stuff, you want to be able to, so you're taking a look at what is this new world going to look like? What am I expecting as we head into, this next level of things, right? Answer is pretty straightforward. It's going to be a little bit of the same, and like I said, a little bit of difference. A little bit of the same, relationships are vital. That's just the way the world has worked, will continue to work, is working now. That doesn't change. What I expect to change heading into the future is how we get there. And this idea of becoming a trusted authority, this idea of becoming as a business somebody that people look up to and can see. And now, if you're not like an individual who goes out and speaks and stuff like that, that's fine. Then you want to position your business as a trusted authority. The result, regardless, is you want people to see you as somebody who is authentic, somebody who is obviously intelligent and knowledgeable, and somebody who is, and this gets back to the first point, can talk to them in a language that they can understand vis-a-vis the symptomatic content and some of these other points that I was making in terms of organizing your stuff, being able to automate it to go out, have it be in a simplified fashion, have it streamlined so that it makes sense. Oh, okay, if I read this piece of content, I'm going to solve this problem. Solving this problem might be something where I might want to hire this guy or this company or whatever, and moving forward. The manner in which we do that is going to be more online. It's going to be more via Zoom. It's going to be more webinars. It's going to be more of those types of things versus being able to meet as many people as maybe we used to or wanted to face-to-face in one-on-one networking. Networking hasn't gone away. That's not gone away, but the manner in which we build out our network, that has changed, and that's the biggest thing that I could see changing as we move forward. So anyway, hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully those are some things that you can see yourself doing. In the meantime, though, my name is Brian Hilliard, saying so long, take care, and thanks so much for your time.